And we are continuing to follow breaking news. Ammon Bundy arrested. We will tell you how authorities finally landed the leader of an armed militia group at an Oregon wildlife refuge in cuffs, and how this incident led to the death of one person.
A local community is on edge after troubling trends of mailbox break-ins. What neighborhoods are being targeted and what you can do to stop the mail bandits.
Also, a local chef is helping students hone their skills in the kitchen. How he's preparing for the Valley's children to get their careers in the culinary industry. But we begin with breaking news. Ammon Bundy, the son of Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy, is under arrest tonight along with at least 8 others. The group has been armed at a wildlife refuge in Oregon for the past month.
All right, and so we just got word from the FBI in Oregon, and I'm going to read to you the exact words in connection with this arrest. One individual who was a subject of a federal probable cause arrest is deceased. The FBI saying right now they're not going to release any more information. They also say gunshots meant one person suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to a local hospital there in Oregon. The arrested individuals, according to the FBI, and this was just placed in my hands a moment ago, Ammon Bundy, 40, Ryan Bundy of Bunkerville, Nevada, 43, Brian Cavalier of Bunkerville, age 44, Shauna Cox of Kanab, Utah, and Ryan Wayland Payne of Anaconda, all of them part of that so-called Bundy militia, arrested.
Yes, all of this apparently happening because of a traffic stop as they were en route to a community meeting in John Day. That's about 70 miles away from where the standoff has been taking place. You'll recall Bundy and dozens of others occupied the refuge after 2 ranchers were arrested for allegedly setting fires on federal land. We also are getting reports that a more than 50-mile stretch of highway in Oregon has been closed near the wildlife refuge as authorities respond to what perhaps may be the end of this occupation that has lasted now for about 3 weeks.
You're looking at file video taken in the last weeks. Of course, locals in that area have been so frustrated with the Bundys and their militia holding siege there at the National Wildlife Refuge. Their perspective is the federal government needs to release lands to the people, as they say. The federal government has had kid gloves on this one, not wanting it to come to this, but apparently it has. One person confirmed dead and another person injured. We also want to tell you that a news conference is expected in the next several moments outside of that Oregon hospital. We expect more information from the FBI.
And on that same note, read one more bit of information for you from the FBI. They're saying that all the people arrested today face a federal felony charge of conspiracy to impede officers of the United States from discharging their official duties through the use of force, intimidation, or threats. That is a violation according to federal officials. Obviously, this is just the beginning of a developing story. We are reaching out to the Bundy family living here just north of Las Vegas. What they have to say is among one of the many things we're looking into for later reports here on News 3.
Now to a developing story. You know, for the second time in less than a week, police opened fire on a suspect, this time in the northeast part near Pecos and Bonanza this afternoon. In fact, the intersection is closed at this hour while officers investigate this one. Police say this all started with the call of an armed man driving a stolen car recklessly. Well, the suspect was eventually shot by police and taken to UMC with minor injuries. He has since been released from the hospital and taken to the Clark County Detention Center. So far, we're hearing that no officers were injured in that incident. Well, today Metro apologized to the family of a boy who was hit by a bullet last Friday in front of the Bellagio. It all started when 911 calls started rolling in as police say 20-year-old Khalil Black was pointing a gun at tourists. Officer George Smith confronted Black, who they say pointed his unloaded gun at the officer, prompting the cop to fire twice. Well, a 4-year-old boy was sitting on his father's shoulder, was grazed by that bullet. It bounced off a nearby pillar. We're told it was a bruise. He's expected to be okay. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old mentally ill suspect is now behind bars facing serious charges.
Thieves are targeting a Summerlin neighborhood for their mailboxes, and neighbors are fed up.
They're really not sure why it keeps happening, but they want answers now. News 3 Sandra Gonzalez joins us live near Fort Apache and Sahara. Sandra, you see that mailbox right there. A lot of people are pretty angry about this, and especially right now it's tax season. W-2s and other very important documents are coming into people's homes.
And Rita Marie, this is the type of mailbox that they're targeting, one with all the boxes in a central location. And it looks like they used a crowbar or some type of device to get to the mail. Whoever they are, They pry, they grab, and it seems they prefer this style of mailbox.
I'm mad about it.
Now neighbors say these crooks have hit a number of boxes like this one since last weekend. And now new surveillance video captured this white van going up to one of the mailboxes and breaking into it during the middle of the night. One person who lives here didn't want to be identified, but he's hoping everyone will see this video. And if you know something, report it to the Postal Inspector's office. These boxes hold a lot of documents containing a lot of information, so people are worried.
You know, this is a quiet neighborhood, mostly older people that live here, and maybe, you know, the older generation has grown up using checks and dropping them in the mail to pay bills.
This isn't the only neighborhood battling this problem. It's also been going on near Rainbow and Sahara.
Why? That's what I want to know. Why do you have to do this to people?
Marilyn Wassel with the U.S. Postal Service met with us to see the damage. She says she's disappointed.
It is a crime. It's a federal crime. It is punishable by up to $250,000 and 5 years in prison. We do take it seriously. The Postal Inspection Service takes it very seriously.
And this is very serious to the victims whose mailboxes have been broken into over the past month. They hope these criminals will be caught soon. So if you think you know anything about that white van, you are urged to contact the Postal Inspection Service or call 911. Now, we have a link to the Postal Inspection Service on our website, News 3 LV. Reporting live, Sandra Gonzalez, News 3.
Sandra, thank you. Nevada's highest court taking up the case of a Hong Kong businessman who's suing the Sands Casino Company. Richard Swen says he's owed money for helping the casino get a gaming license in Macau. Suen will be awarded $115 million if the High Court upholds lower court rulings that he won against the Sands Corp. Attorneys for the company argue Suen did virtually nothing to help the casino get a gaming license. That dispute has been going on for 12 years.
The American Red Cross says it is in dire need of donations. The organization says the terrible winter weather nationwide this month has led to fewer blood drives. According to the Red Cross, in January, more than 300 blood drives across 20 states were canceled. The Red Cross says it is now down 9,500 donations. If you would like to help, to donate blood, you need 2 forms of ID. You need to be at least 17, be in good health, and weigh at least 110 pounds. You can schedule a donation by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app or make an appointment online. We've placed a link for you on news3lv.com.
Well, now for some video that we want to warn you in advance is a little bit graphic out of England, where one man's near-death experience was caught on camera. It's hard to watch. Police say street cameras captured one man's unbelievable encounter with a speeding car. As the 53-year-old man was crossing the street, he was suddenly clipped by a passing car and flipped completely off his feet. That man was catapulted several yards up the road as the vehicle continued to speed off. The victim, amazingly, is at home, recovering, survived. The suspected driver, though, not yet found.
To South Carolina now, where another dramatic scene unfolded here right before surveillance cameras. 2 suspects tried to rob this barbershop. There were children inside at the time when 2 people inside the barbershop, customers, shot at the suspects, hitting one of them. That wounded suspect ran from the barbershop and collapsed outside. He was taken to a local hospital where he passed away. A second suspect escaped.
Well, people of one California apartment complex have actually been ordered to get out due to fears the structure will fall into the Pacific Ocean. Look at this. The apartment building in a place called Pacifica, located near some cliffs, are crumbling in part due to the current El Nino winter. Police posted yellow tags on the residents' doors warning them to get out, to leave. Part of the coastline there have crumbled over the years, threatening homes and businesses. Meanwhile, a veterinarian who works nearby has a possible explanation.
Global warming, you know, Antarctica icebergs are melting, the ocean levels are rising, the high tides are higher, and the storms are taking more of the, excavating more of the cliffs.
Some people in the threatened apartments say they have no plans to leave despite that evacuation order.
Super Bowl 50 is coming to the San Francisco area in less than 2 weeks, and you think that everybody there is excited, right? Well, drivers aren't too pleased. The actual game happens February 7th in Santa Clara, but the NFL is setting up a so-called Super Bowl city for fans at San Francisco's Justin Herman Plaza. Construction on the exhibit is ongoing, and that means plenty of road closures and detours in already very busy downtown San Francisco.
I don't like it. I wish we would have had a choice. I wish we could have said no to it. Yeah, I'm not a sports fan to begin with, but it's just going to create chaos.
Well, Super Bowl City, regardless, will open its doors on Saturday. It's an interactive fan experience that will feature 2 concert stages and even a football field. More than 1 million people are expected to visit the exhibit, which is free to the public. All right, of course, besides the game, a lot of people love to eat on Super Bowl Sunday, and one local chef is changing the way students are thinking about food.
Yeah, you can't have Super Bowl and be on a diet, right? They're learning how to create dishes that really belong in 5-star restaurants. And News 3's Kelsey Thomas got the hard assignment to go inside a program at our neighbor school, Rancho High, preparing kids for some pretty difficult careers in the city of culinary masters.
What's this one?
There are no textbooks or pencils inside room 501.
This is no longer your mom's home ec class.
If Italian meatballs and creamy Alfredo sauce expands your expectations for a high school culinary course,
Not bad though, not bad.
come inside the kitchen.
We got the pasta already running here.
Watch and listen
These right here are like perfect.
to a man behind a program with a 200-plus waiting list
I'm impressed, guys. You guys are doing awesome.
at one of the oldest high schools in Las Vegas.
One of the best ways to get out of the doghouse when you're a kid is to make your parents dinner.
As a pastry sous chef at the Wynn, Philip Dell was once at the top of his profession and weight class.
I used to be obese. When I moved to Vegas almost 12 years ago, I had a 44-inch waist.
Dell turned to healthy cooking, competing on the TV show Chopped. Now he's teaching kids.
Someone took me under their wing when I was a kid, and I'm trying to do the same thing for them.
He teaches us like it's the real world.
You feel more connected to the food that you're making.
For now,
This is pretty spectacular.
it's just practice.
Quite honestly, on the strip, that would probably be about $18, $20, $24.
Kids in constant motion, churning out culinary creations,
You go from sitting in a desk all day to running around and cooking.
preparing for a future where they could one day be a culinary star. Kelsey Thomas, News 3.
Well, an officer goes beyond the call of duty to help a mother deliver her baby on the side of the freeway.
You have to see the special birth that one family and so many others will never forget.
Stop! We're in the police! Stop!
Dramatic video shows a police officer opening fire on a runaway car. How a routine traffic stop quickly turned into trouble in a Florida shopping center.
And the warm-up's going to continue across southern Nevada, but now looks like we have some rain showers in the forecast. I'll tell you when we can expect it coming up on News 3.
And the FBI says one person has died after shots were fired during the arrest of Ammon, Bundy and other protesters in Oregon. More on this when we come back. We continue to follow breaking news in Oregon, where Ammon Bundy, the son of Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy, is under arrest tonight along with at least 8 other protesters.
So the FBI in Oregon says one person is dead. The group has been armed at a wildlife refuge in Oregon for the past month. The FBI not saying who took the fatal bullet. According to our Oregon sister station, officials said it all began with a traffic stop while Bundy and some of his followers were on their way to a community meeting in a place called John Day that's about 70 miles away.
Bundy and dozens of others occupied the refuge after 2 ranchers were arrested for allegedly setting fires on federal land. In addition to all the developments we've told you about, we're also getting reports that a more than 50-mile stretch of highway in Oregon has been closed near the wildlife refuge, and a local hospital has been also placed on lockdown. Of course, we'll continue to stay on top of this breaking story tonight.
Meanwhile, police in Houston are searching for a trio of thieves who backed a truck into a convenience store to steal an ATM. Surveillance video right here shows the suspects back up their pickup truck into the front of the store. They smash right through the glass and even a gate. The thieves then work together to lift the ATM into the back of the truck, with one suspect driving away while the others just took off on foot. The store owner said his business is completely destroyed. So far, it's unclear how much cash was in that ATM.
Orlando police released video showing just how dangerous a routine traffic stop can become.
So a teenager ignored police orders to stop and then drove towards an officer. It resulted in the officer saying he was forced to fire. Here's Natalie Morales with more.
The footage is striking. A police officer shoots at a car in an Orlando, Florida shopping center.
Stop! Orlando police, stop!
Police say the January 16th incident started when officers spotted the driver not wearing his seatbelt.
Stop the car!
This is newly released police body cam footage.
Put your hands up, do it now!
When the suspect didn't stop, cops used batons to smash the car's windows. Still, the suspect then backs up into a parked car before trying to make another escape. That's when the car comes right towards one of the officers, who says he was forced to fire 4 shots to protect himself. Another angle from store surveillance shows the driver of what turned out to be a stolen car getting shot at, but still managing to get away. A witness described the terrifying incident to our affiliate WESH, but did not want to be identified on camera.
Everything happened so fast, I just froze. Went in a state of shock because I wasn't expecting them just to pull out guns and just open fire.
Well, that car eventually crashed, and the suspected 17-year-old driver was arrested after a brief foot chase. He was treated for a bullet wound to his shoulder and is now charged with assaulting police. As for the officer involved, that person is on paid administrative leave.
Traffic stalled on a New York freeway today because a mother gave birth, and the officer right there helped her deliver. The NYPD proudly tweeted out this picture of the new baby named Nicola Wong. Police say she was delivered along the highway near the United Nations headquarters. That beautiful infant was taken to a medical center immediately after she came into the world.
And what a beautiful story.
Yes, it is. Well, it's shaping up to be a beautiful story here where the temperatures are concerned.
That's right. We have your weather authority, Chloe Beardsley, standing behind, I should say, in front of a beautiful shot of the Las Vegas Strip. Pretty still chilly and crisp out there, huh?
Still going to be cold overnight, you know what we usually see this time of year, but over the next few days, high temperatures in the afternoon will be closer to the 70s over the next few days.
We continue to follow this breaking news out of Oregon. Word from the FBI that Ammon Bundy and other people from the Bundy family have been arrested, among several others. But also we're hearing that shots were fired in Oregon and one person is dead, another person is inside the hospital. We've been told for the better part of an hour that a news conference is expected so that we can hear from the FBI more about exactly what happened. But Ammon Bundy is arrested. Other members of the Bundy family also arrested tonight, facing federal charges, and one person is dead. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. A bloodhound in Alabama sniffed her way to the finish line during a half marathon.
I love this story. Runners say Ludovine escaped her backyard and took her place at the starting line of the Trackless Trek half marathon. The hound would eventually cross the finish line in 7th place, averaging a time of 7 minutes per mile. Here's what's really surprising. Ludovine's owner says the hound is usually, quote, laid back and lazy. Organizers say next year's race will be renamed the Hound Dog Half, and a special prize will be given to 7th place.
We're going to have more from Oregon tonight on News 3 Live at 11, where Ammon Bundy reportedly has been arrested, and also word of one person shot dead. Also tonight, a major case of gun trafficking here in the Las Vegas Valley. New at 11, how one man sent dozens of handguns from Las Vegas to Northern California, and they ended up in the hands of some very dangerous people, say our sources. Also new tonight, proof that kids really do the cutest things when they think nobody's watching. Those stories plus breaking news as it happens tonight on News 3 Live at 11.
And before we leave you here at 7 o'clock, we want to recap the breaking news we continue to follow in Oregon, where Ammon Bundy, the son of Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy, is under arrest tonight, along with at least 8 other protesters.
The FBI in Oregon says one person is dead, another person in the hospital, a hospital reportedly on lockdown. Much more to come throughout the night on what was the Bundy standoff. Now the story, Bundy arrests.